large corporates, including large technology businesses, love to have an excuse to go out there in public and say, we've got to shed a whole load of staff. And what's happening now with AI, in that people are worried about it taking their jobs for good reason, is absolute manna from heaven for these businesses. Hi, I'm Fractional Matt. I help non-technology people build technology businesses. If that's of interest to you, then please do give me a follow. So as I say, large corporates really love a reason to get rid of people. They always recruit too many people. They always end up bloated, and just being able to kind of shave off that lower 10-20% of the staff is everything that they want. And what's happening with AI now means that they've generally got a really good excuse to do this. Now, I'm not saying that AI won't take people's jobs, but there's something that people are looking at really wrong in this, in that it's not that 1 in 10 people are going to lose their jobs. It's that there's a structural change coming, which means that 10% of people's jobs doesn't have to take the amount of time up that it currently does. And if you aggregate all that together, it means that you can, in theory, lose like 10% of people. So for example, let's say you're a McKinsey consultant and you spend 40 hours a week at your desk, and 4 hours of those is putting together PowerPoint decks for clients. If AI can come in and do that PowerPoint deck creation for you for 0 minutes or 5 minutes, that's 4 hours or 10% of your week freed up. Now, from McKinsey's perspective, if they've got X number of consultants and 10% of those consultants' time could be saved, that means that they can, in theory, shed 10% of staff. So it sort of ends up being true and not true, in that AI can create all these efficiencies, which means that fewer people are needed to do the job. But at the same time, you have those people. So if you're able to say, well, these are the good people we want to keep, and now they've got 10%, there's 10% of their time that we can redeploy on things which is creating great value to the business, fantastic. But they also now get this really good excuse to go out and say, actually, we've got to get rid of these 10 people. There's nothing we can do. It's just AI. Whoops, that's a shame, isn't it? But it's always been a skill that people have needed in work, in kind of like, don't be the person closest to the door. So right back in my early career, I worked with a salesperson. It was one of these apocryphal kind of bullying types IT tech sales jobs, where they had a sales room, had maybe 30 salespeople in there, and they had rows of desks, and each month the person who was closest to the door was fired, and they put someone new in at the first one, so it kind of zigzag around like a snake. Now, you couldn't do that now. I'm not even sure if it's an apocryphal story back then, but you can imagine it being done then. But that's what really people are talking about. It's all of this. Corporates love reasons to get rid of people. AI gives them that reason. There is a genuine efficiency change coming, in that people are going to be able to take large chunks of their week and do something different with it because they've had some time saved. But if you're at the bottom capability within an organization, yeah, you know what, you probably are going to be out on your ear. And that's horrible, but businesses aren't kind of holiday camps, right?